Hey, it's 6 o'clock. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Breaking news overnight, wrapping up as we speak. It's in Isle of Wight County along the James River near the Pagan River. Dispatchers first confirmed with 10 on your side that officials were on the scene of a capsized boat in the James River.
All right, we're told that that boat was at the mouth of the Pagan just east of Smithfield. There has not been any sign of the boat yet, but we're told that 10 people were on board. 8 were found quickly. 2 others were just rescued within the last 15 minutes. John Massey is above the scene now, showing us a picture of one of several boats that jumped in to help with this rescue. John?
Yes, Carrie and Don. Now, we've got a little bit of a mystery going on now. We were told the same thing. 8 had been rescued immediately. We got video of 2 being rescued, but on board this boat below us, they pulled a 3rd person from the water. Now, right now, it looks like another teenager, and CPR is being administered to him. They're headed back over toward the Isle of Wight side to Command Center to try to get some further assistance for him. But we've got some video of the rescue as it was underway. We're going to punch that up right now, I believe. Okay, but Tom's working on getting that up for you. Now, the group of 2 that were on the surface, Coast Guard spotted them right before sunrise. Boat cert came in very, very quickly in order to get those 2 out of the water. They were pulled from the water. They looked to be in fairly good condition. But as they were rescuing those 2, a 3rd person, another teenage young man, looks to be... he was pulled from the water. Now we got that video ready. We're going to punch that up real quick. And you can see the 2 that were originally rescued in the water as the boats came alongside. And they got those 2 out of the water very, very quickly and got them up onto the Newport News fireboat number 1. You can see them being pulled alongside right now. And this was just right at sunrise. Now that was initially, we were told we were looking for only 2 people. That they had not accounted for a total of 10, and they all do appear to be teenagers. That's going to be some questions that are going to be answered later on as to exactly what they were doing out in the middle of the James River in the middle of the night and in what type of boat, because we have not been able to see any type of boat. We haven't seen the boat. We don't know if it sank or what happened to it yet, but the search is still underway for that boat. But as we come back out live, you'll be able to see that boat that is transporting the 3rd person that was pulled from the water. That's where the mystery comes in. We were told initially only searching for 2. They found 3. This young man was unconscious, unfortunately, and he's being taken over toward the Isle of Wight's Command Center side for further medical treatment. We don't have any word on his condition. We can tell you that CPR was being administered, and we shall keep you up to date.
All right, and we understand that out of respect for this young person, we're not going to go too close here, just showing that another person has been brought over. So, again, questions here. Were there, in fact, 11 people on that boat that capsized, or is this a separate situation that doesn't have anything to do with the first? In any case, there have now been 11 people pulled out of the water. 10 seem to be alive and well from a capsized boat. And again, John Massey just reporting that another person who appears to be a young person pulled from the water for a grand total of 11, and it is that last person that we are concerned about at this time. We are working right now with all of our contacts in the area to get as much information as we can about what went on here, and of course our Chopper 10 will stay in the area. And stay with us. We'll show you some of the video of the dramatic rescue overnight, and it was dark. The Coast Guard was on the scene, plus the rescue boat from Newport News. We're trying to find out more information about the other 10 that we believe are on the Isle of Wight County side of the James River. And if you're just joining us, all this unfolded around the mouth of the James River, about 2 to 3 miles north of the James River Bridge, near the mouth of the Pagan River. So we'll be getting back with John Massey and get as much information as we can and bring you up to date a little bit later on this half hour. Back on Wave News 10 at 6:15. If you're just waking up this morning, we've been following breaking news all morning. A capsized boat in the James River near the Pagan River. Now, dispatchers say a boat with 10, possibly 11 people on board capsized in the James River, dumping all in the water. The good news is that all have been recovered. All right. We want to go back to John Massey, who's above the scene now with more on another person that is the center of concern right now, an 11th person who was taken from the water, and we're still working to find out if this was a person who was on board that boat. John Massey, what can you tell us?
Yes, Carrie. Right now we're looking down on the command center, which is set up on the Isle of Wight side of the James River. Now that is going to be the question this morning. It was originally called in with 10 people on board. 8 people were rescued fairly quickly. The search was underway for 2. Now we have video of those 2 being rescued. We were up here before the sun came up, and they were spotted just right at sunrise. It started to get a little bit lighter. You can see boats pulling up alongside and rescuing those 2. That was a young man and a young woman that was rescued and pulled on board. And then immediately after that, there was a 3rd person that was spotted in the water. Unfortunately, that person was unconscious. He was taken on board a boat and immediately brought over toward the command center, where CPR was immediately administered and has been underway since they brought him back over to the command center. He's inside the ambulance now, but at this point it has not departed the scene. But you can see, time when we come out live, widen out, we've got Nightingale landing on the runway right there. You can see him in that cloud of dust. He's attempting to land to transport that person to the hospital for treatment. We don't have any word on his condition, but I can tell you that they were administering CPR on that young man as they brought him back over toward the shore. But that's going to be the big question of the day. Initial call was 10 people on board. Looks like we had 8 people that were immediately rescued. 2 we saw rescued, and a 3rd person pulled from the James River. Now we got Coast Guard still below us here as he comes underneath. He remains on scene, as well as Nightingale is on scene to transport that 3rd victim. Now it's unclear at this point. It does appear that all of these people were young teenage children. I can't tell you an age, but they appeared to be all teenagers to us. So the question is going to be, what were they doing out in the James River in the middle of the night, and what type of boat they were on, because we have not spotted a boat at all. Either the boat completely sank, or that's going to be one of those questions that we're going to have to try to find out a little bit later on.
And as we try to get answer to those questions, we understand also that the boat apparently capsized after midnight. And that could mean that those teens or those people were in the water for about 5 hours.
Indeed, that's a long time to be in the James River. And admittedly, the water may seem like it's very warm and suitable for swimming, but you can succumb to hypothermia very quickly, and water temperatures that don't have to be ice cold. It's just if you can succumb to exposure in a very short period of time. But again, we don't have any word on the victim that was pulled from the water, but they are prepping him for transport to the hospital for further treatment right now.
All right, we will certainly hope for the best there. Again, John Massey in Chopper 10 above that scene. John, we saw that the Coast Guard helicopter was still on scene. Does it appear that they might be still looking just in case? Because, you know, we initially heard that there were 10 people on the boat, heard that 8 were rescued, thought this thing was a wrap, and ended in a wonderful way with the other 2 being found alive, and then this 11th person that we're very concerned about now. Is it possible maybe that they're still looking just in case that number was off by even more and there might be someone else or more people in the water?
Well, Carrie, I can tell you that most of the search boats that were out in the river have already departed the area. The Coast Guard may be remaining on scene trying to find the boat.
Yeah.
Now that obviously would be a hazard to navigation, and the James River is a heavily traveled river by tug and by barge. So they may be conducting an operation to try to find the boat, but most of the rescue boats that were out have already departed the scene.
All right, hopefully that is a good sign, and again, we are hoping for the best for this young person that, as you mentioned, is being loaded onto Nightingale for transport to the hospital.
All right, John Massey in Chopper 10. We'll be checking back with you, John, for an update probably in about 10 minutes or so. Hovering over the James River right now, we appear. John, just double checking, this is the Newport News side of the James River where Nightingale has landed?
No, this is on the Isle of Wight side of Newport News, just north of the Pagan River Inlet. So it is on the Isle of Wight side.
All righty. John Massey in Chopper 10. We'll be checking back with you.
All right, using every resource in the community to get that young person to the hospital. All right, we will keep following the story for you. Right now it's 6:20. We're going to check in with meteorologist Jeremy Wheeler.